If you were given $1 million right now, what would be the first thing you buy? Maybe you're thinking of a luxurious car, a new home, or something simple like that pair of shoes you have always wanted. Well, if you're Harrison Barnes, the first thing you're buying is a new mattress. Growing up, Harrison always wanted a nice bed, so when he got his first NBA check, he went straight to the mattress store and bought one of the nicer beds they had available. If you think Harrison's first purchase is strange, then this video is going to leave you in shock. There definitely are some massive first purchases I will touch on later, but I wanted to start out with some of the simpler ones that might surprise you even more, like Joel Embiid's only purchase from his first NBA check being video games. A funny story about Embiid's love for video games comes from Billy Lange, a former 76ers assistant coach, because there was a time when Embiid destroyed Billy's four sons in Madden, winning 98-6. Well, I don't know if that's worse than beating them by 200 points on 2K that exact same day. Billy said that Embiid was talking smack the entire time to him and his kids, showing no mercy. So who knows, we might see Embiid as a professional gamer in the NBA 2K League when he retires from basketball. Before being in the NBA, Enes Kanter Freedom played professionally in Europe at 16 years old. So what does a 16-year-old do with his first paycheck? Enes did what any teenage boy would want to do and brought his friends out for some pizza. And pizza might just be his love language because this wasn't the only time when he showed generosity through the food. In the summer of 2019, Enes held over 40 basketball camps throughout the United States that were free to kids. And to make these camps even more enjoyable for the kids, he always made sure to feed them with free pizza. A lot of NBA players would charge kids hundreds of dollars for something like this. So seeing Enes do it out of the kindness of his heart is awesome. LeBron James is one of the few athletes that are worth more than $1 billion. And a big reason for his massive fortune is being smart financially before he entered the league. When LeBron got his first endorsement deal from Nike, he deposited all of the money to the bank. Well, all of the money except just enough to bring his closest friend to an amusement park. Saving all but $2,000 from a multi-million-dollar contract is crazy. Crazy in a great way, because personally, I would have taken out at least a couple thousand to spend on myself. Another NBA player following LeBron's smart financial decisions as a teenager is Jason Tatum, because Tatum still hasn't made a purchase from his first NBA check. To this day, Tatum hasn't spent any money that he has earned from the Celtics and lives solely off of endorsements. And considering he has brand deals with Gatorade, Subway, 2K, and the Jordan brand, I know he's doing just fine. That's enough for smaller first purchases. Let's get into some of the bigger and crazier ones, like Shaq's first purchase being a $150,000 black Mercedes-Benz, which doesn't seem too bad considering he was using money from a $1 million endorsement deal. But sadly, this was only the beginning of a massive one-day spending spree, because right after that purchase, he bought a car for both of his parents and a whole new wardrobe before the upcoming draft. Fast forward a couple of days, Shaq gets a call from the bank letting him know he was $80,000 in the hole because he didn't take taxes and his agent's cut of the $1 million into consideration. It's definitely ironic how one of the most financially smart NBA players had such a dumb shopping spree that he couldn't afford. This day was definitely a rude awakening for Shaq and helped shape him into the savvy businessman he is today. There is another NBA player though who I think had a worse shopping spree with their first NBA check. Gilbert Arenas went into the 2001 NBA draft thinking he would be a lottery pick. So he decided to take out a $400,000 loan from the bank and spend all of it. I'm not exactly sure what his first purchase was, but I do know he bought a $40,000 chain with his initials in it, a Cadillac Escalade with 5 TVs and a suede roof in it, and a $60,000 stereo system. Now, Gilbert was actually projected to be a lottery pick, but his dumb pre-draft antics caused him to be taken in the second round. Gilbert refused to take part in mandatory workouts. He stopped midway during an endurance test because he didn't want to mess up his shoes, and he told everyone his ultimate goal was to become an international pimp. As a result, Gilbert fell to 31st overall and earned a rookie contract of $330,000, which is $70,000 less than the original loan he took out. Gilbert Arenas was so broke during his rookie year that he had to sleep in the Oracle Arena sometimes. Yikes. My favorite first purchases though are when NBA players decide to give back to their loved ones in an expensive fashion, like when Zion bought a $40,000 customized Jeep for his brother, or when Marcus Smart bought his mom a beautiful home in Dallas. But my favorite of them all has to be Giannis sending his entire $1.7 million paycheck back home to his family and community in Greece. He went to the bank and wired all of the money he had, down to the last penny, back to his parents. This was done right before a home game as well, and Giannis had to hitch a ride in a fan's Honda Fit because he didn't have the money to buy a cab. Giannis has continued to do acts of unselfishness even after becoming an NBA MVP. He has done things like raising enough money to supply over 300,000 meals for those in need in the Wisconsin area. He donated $100,000 to the Pfizer Forum staff and 20,000 masks to be of help during the earlier stages of COVID. And he launched the Antetokounmpo's Academy, which is a program that helps children and aspiring coaches get resources to achieve their sporting potential. Just another reason for you to love Giannis. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the one we did on Adai Mara, a 7'3", 17-year-old from Spain who could very well be the #1 pick in the 2024 NBA draft. And who knows, maybe he will have a crazy first purchase if he does end up getting that #1 draft pick salary. As always, thank you guys so much for the support. I will see you in the next one.